All right, guys, so today I want to talk to you guys about bread. Now, not just specifically bread, but as a grander sense, looking at how you can take whatever it is you want to do and envision it, and then turn it into a reality in the marketplace, such that it just doesn't make sense to not have what you want done. And ooh, that's a really crisp fear in my face. But using it more specifically as a means to an end. And I'll tell you what that means in just a sec. The point with it is, and what I want you guys to get out of this video is, if you can make it happen and you can have the relationships to facilitate it happening, then you can just crush it. So that's what we're going to establish today. So the first thing with the bread is, there wasn't a whole lot of food this morning. Just, whatever. I'm going to totally step on this microphone. It's not a big deal. So for lunch, I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't I make avocado toast? I think that'll be fun, and why the heck not, right? So I bring a loaf of bread, and then a whole avocado, knives, forks, the whole shebang. Oh, there's a plate. I like plates. And since you have that, you just got to make it work. So, I go to lunch, you just cut open the avocado and make avocado toast on your lap. And these guys, it's sort of towards the end of senior year, and everyone's pretty much, where they're going to be. And it was really, really funny. They were watching a movie, Daddy Daycare, that's what it was. And with Daddy Daycare, they were looking specifically, it just happened, they were just having fun. And it was super cool because, I just sit behind them, I make my avocado toast, we have a good time together. It was super fun stuff. And, it's not something I would have usually done, but I had to take the time out of my day to make avocado toast on my lap. It's something I had never done before. And it was so fun to do it with friends and to grow in that regard where, you're having, whoa, newfound social interact, whoa. Okay, I should probably cut that. And with that, you're growing with friends, you're having new social interactions where you can take it to a whole new level where, you're sharing people and you're like, hey, do you want some avocado toast? And it's like, why not? And it's just being, fun to the extent that you know what you like, your principles, what you care about, and then using that as a means to give people joy in their day and just add value to the relationship. And if you guys haven't seen, I'll link it below, my top 3 ways to add value to any relationship. This really goes directly along with giving your time and giving your care to someone. So check that out if you haven't. But alongside that, besides that, we make the avocado toast. It's just killer. I love it. It's very tasty, obviously. But more important than that was the social interaction that came from it. But the thing that really got me to come out here today and talk to you guys about toast is something that happened a little bit later in the day. I was just, there's probably maybe 5 people in a class that usually has 40 people. I don't know, maybe 30 people if we're lucky. Big class, and the school's over, so everyone just leaves. And there's girl, and she just, everyone's chilling out. And she says, hey, can I have some bread? So I took out, my loaf of bread, and I was just kind of sitting there because I was reading a book. I just need to get my back. And you share it with people, and you say, yeah, go ahead. And you just unquestionably, if you're able to, and it makes sense, give what you can to add value through any means possible to enrich others' lives, which is just such an undyingly important principle that it's just killer stuff. But besides that, it was the gratitude that came from that I'm really thankful that it had happened and I experienced it, because instead of just being a normal day where people were playing on a PlayStation, I was just kind of reading, because I got these book videos out for you guys. Whoa, something different happened where she was so grateful for a gift of bread or a gift of food, where before it was just a normal day, but she was like, wow, this is really freaking cool. And she didn't have any food, right? So it made sense from any point of view to give to that relationship, because there's nothing to lose in that regard, and you have everything to gain because the other person is at such a fundamentally different place than you, where I've got a loaf of bread and they just didn't have any food, and it made sense to share that so that they could have whatever they wanted, right? So you give them just it's a small gift, and then you look at it over time, and you're really building emotional capital or relational capital that, you know, if of any value. It's a way to show others that you care, and use that as a future pacing gift of, this is something, you know, saying and committing to something that matters to you, and then using that as a means of, you know, in the future, if anything comes out of this, it comes out of this, and it will only be strengthened because you had the care and the commitment to say, hey, yeah, sure, whatever, have some food, right? And same thing happened later in the day. I was talking to some of those speakers in that last video I put up, and it was really cool. You know, I was hungry. I got out my loaf of bread. I started eating some bread, and then, you know, my friend came and he sat down. We listened to the speaker, and then he had some bread. So, you know, it's not something people think about a lot. It's like, how can I share food or culture or any other aspect that you have that maybe others don't have, or they don't have a full grasp on. You can really share it with them and impact their lives so much more by, you know, really caring about what they do, but to a grander extent, just having the foresight and the insights to make stuff happen for them, so that instead of, you know, they're sitting there doing nothing, whatever, you're giving them this whole new value of, you know, he was a big weightlifter guy, you know, like me. I just love it. It's super fun stuff. And he just needed the energy, right? And it just made sense. It's like, yeah, here, go ahead, have some bread. And, oh, he had a spider web. But it was cool because, you know, instead of him sitting there hungry, now he's got bread, now we're all happy. And you can look at that as a deeper relationship because it's a commitment, right? And it's showing, hey, right, you know, I care. And if you can show people you care and not have a super tall tripod, but if you show people you care, that's the way that you're going to open up new doors and turn those doors into realizable market opportunities by bringing value to a whole nother level where it just makes so much sense from another's point of view. Like, if you give enough and you crush it by giving it, you know, there's just going to be a certain proportion of people that reciprocate, and you don't know when, you don't know how, you don't even know if it's the people, right? Sometimes it can just be goodwill, sometimes it can be referrals, business, doesn't really matter, right? But the point with it is that one way or another, your great actions are going to have great results, and you can use those as a fundamental jump start into you know, whatever aspect of anything you do is. So it's really cool stuff, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks so much. Have a good one. Bye.